All right, so this is a video for half of the intro to Being Harsh. All right, so let's talk about the tuning first. Right now, the tuning that I'm in is the same tuning as the song. So it's basically, we'll take a look at what the tuning is actually. Helps that way. All right, so here's the tab that I'll share with you as well. I'll send you the link. It's pretty accurate for an internet tab. But as you can see, it's basically, we're tuned down a half step. Except for the G, that stays in regular standard tuning, and instead of it being the D string tuning down to D flat, we're going to tune that to E flat instead. So now we have an octave of our low E flat to the D string now being tuned to E flat. All right, so if you wanted to stay in standard tuning, all you would do is you would tune your D string up to an E, and then your G up to a G sharp, and then you would be in the same kind of tuning, but one half step higher than the actual song. All right, so let's take a look at the tab to get started, because we're just going to be covering this today. Just that far today. That's what we covered in the lesson. All right, so here we have the tab. And if we'll notice a couple things, we have this indicator, this 2P0. What that means is a pull-off, and we'll see those here again for, kind of simultaneously pull-offs from 2 to open. So let's take a look at how to do a pull-off first. So in the context of the first chord, it's kind of like an E minor shape. And then we're doing that pull-off. So I'm using my pinky. So basically, I'm going through that. So I pick that 2 on, and I'm using my pinky because it just sort of is the natural finger to use. I have my middle ring and then pinky underneath. So, and to do that pull off, we're gonna pick that note and then pull off with our finger. So pick and then pull off. And that pull off technique is just basically just using the tip of our finger almost to pluck the string down. And that's how we get that pull off. So we pick, pull off. So that's the technique for that. All right, so that first riff, I kind of like to break this down into bits and pieces. The first being, basically this E minor chord to the pull off. So that's what I want to practice first when I'm working on this. So I'm just going to go. I got my pull off. All right, and now I'm going to go to the next part, which I'm going to break it into, this is, I guess, part 2. And it just goes 4, 6, 7. So 4, 6, 7. So when we throw it in, we have. So after that pull off in that first part of the riff, we really have to make our way over to the 4th fret real quick. So it's almost good to practice that move in and of itself. So 4, 6, 7, 6, 7 are on the A, and then we have 5, 7. So let's kind of put those two together. We'll take a look at the next riff. So we just added that 4, 6, 7. Now we're going to look at 5, 7 with these 3 strums and the 5 there. That's going to be our part 3. So that's going to go 5, 7, down, down, up. So we're going to do a downstroke for this first chord, another down for that second, and then an up for the third. And then we're going to hit that 5. So it's going to go... let me see. So 5, 7, down, down, up, 5. So let's put that together. Now we have. One more time. Okay, now we gotta look at this next part, which is a little bit different. This is, so now we are here for this we're basically playing two notes on two different strings at the same time, then sliding them and doing a pull off. Sounds like a lot, but it's not as overwhelming as it may seem. So this is what is called a hybrid pick for this technique. When we have, and I'm going to use my middle finger on that second fret on the D and my ring finger on the second fret of the E string. So now the hybrid pick comes when I'm using my actual pick on the D string and I'm using my middle finger to pluck the E string. And I do it simultaneously. So, as you can see, I got D, E, D, E, D, E at the same time. All right, so now we have to figure out what do we do with that? So we have to like pick and slide almost at the same time. And then it goes back to a pull off. So that's kind of a trickier pull off than just a regular, we have hybrid pick slide, and then we do that pull off. So we do slide, come back to 2, and then we do a double pull off to get those open strings from 2 to open. Then we go. So that's the motion that I want to practice this in. And then I'm doing, with my middle finger, I'm plucking that last pull off, 2 to open. So that's a good motion to practice on its own as well. So with that last pull off from that pull off, the double hybrid pick pull off, want to make sure that you're not accidentally hitting any of the strings like the G or the B that are open below it, because we don't want those to sound. So we can practice that like that. So then, now we want to kind of throw it all together. And we want to do it slow. I just want to practice that. A good way to practice this is, a good way to practice this is to set up like a drum loop. And I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go to a website that has a nice drum machine, because I like to use this versus a metronome sometimes, because metronome just doesn't sound real enough for me. I like a drum machine. It helps me identify exactly where I am in the count better than a drum machine. So I'll share this website with you right here. It's a cool little drum machine. You can program in everything. Let me just, I'm gonna turn it on. I'm gonna program it to 85 beats per minute, because that's where the song is. I recommend, going a little lower to begin with to start practicing this, because we eventually just want to be able to play along with the song. So I'm gonna unplug my mic so this doesn't pick up the speakers, so I can, either way, because I want to demonstrate how I practice this. So I'm gonna remove my mic for a minute. Okay, I'm back. All right, so that's kind of how I would go about practicing that one. And we will cover the rest of the song at lesson next week. So go through it nice and slow and take your time, be patient. But biggest thing is go slow with it. Don't jump into it like we need to play it as fast as the actual song right now. That will come. You start off slow, and the more you do it, it's going to gain speed. So, all right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.